If you're thinking about buying a house with a pool, today we're going to tell you everything you need to know before you purchase that house. Hey everybody, Melanie Atkinson here, realtor with Smith & Associates. And today we have taken this episode of Melanie Loves Tampa Bay outside to this beautiful pool setting. And I am joined with one of my very good friends and fellow real estate agent at Smith & Associates, Travis Long. Luckily for us, he is also a pool service contractor. So he is going to tell us everything that we need to know if you're thinking about buying a house with a pool. Travis, as you know, being a real estate agent here too, people come from all over and they always want to buy a house with a pool, but it's not always the right fit for everybody. So tell me what you typically advise people whenever they're trying to decide whether to buy a house with a pool or without a pool.
Buying a home with a pool, it seems very exciting at first, and it is exciting, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of things that, especially first-time home buyers, they don't think about. There's a lot of things and costs that come with buying a home with a pool, and that's just something you have to prepare your client for.
Right, so let's talk about some of those costs. What about monthly maintenance of a pool? How much is that about?
So if you're going to hire somebody like myself to come out and clean the pool once a week for you, it's going to be anywhere between $75 and $125, depending on if the pool is screened or not.
And that's per month?
Right.
Okay.
So they come out once a week, but you generally pay once a month.
Okay, so, but then the theory behind that is that I don't have to do anything with my pool. You're gonna take care of everything. I just get to jump in it on a really hot day like today.
Exactly.
Perfect. So what if I don't hire somebody and I take care of it myself?
If you take care of it yourself, you are going to have to think about getting a water sample if you're going to go into the store and get it tested to purchase the chemicals that you need.
And will the people in the store kind of guide me and tell me what I'm supposed to put in based on that water sample?
They should, yes. They'll take your water, they'll test it, and they usually will give you a printout of what you need or what your pool doesn't have.
So that's covering a little bit about the chemicals in order to keep the pool blue. But what about the rest of the costs associated with a pool, like the equipment? Some of that can be really expensive, right?
Yes, you're gonna obviously have the pool pump, which is circulating the water for the pool filter, and if you have a spa or the pool is heated, the pool heater, which all of that together is going to be in the thousands of dollars.
If you had to replace all of it.
Right. The pump,
right.
The average lifespan for a pump is anywhere between 3 and 10 years. Filter, probably 10 to 20 years, and the heater, 15 years.
If I'm going to buy a house with a pool and I'm a buyer and I've never had a pool before, what should I want the inspector to look for?
The general home inspector is licensed to do the inspection for the home. They'll take a look at the pool and the pool equipment, but technically they are there to inspect the home, and they'll usually take notes on the pool. If there's a leak or something's going on with the pool equipment, or if the equipment looks old, they'll make notation about that, and then you can go forward and have a licensed pool contractor to come out and do an inspection on just the pool itself.
Right, and that seems like a good way to go if you want to make sure that your pool is in good working order. About how much does that cost to have a separate pool inspection?
A separate pool inspection will run you about between $200 and $400.
Okay, so but then if there's any issues, then they will know how to fix them as well.
Right. I mean, the worst thing you can do is buy a house and you move in, you get in the pool, and you find out everything is malfunctional or needs repaired or
right.
something like that.
So one of the things that I notice a lot in pools around here, especially as they get older, is when you're looking at the surface of the pool, it almost looks like there's dark spots, and I always refer to it as pitting. Is that the right terminology, and what does that mean when I see that in a pool?
So if the pool finish is a lighter color, you usually will be able to see either staining or etching. Sometimes calcium can cause this, but usually it's a stain. If the marcite is 15 years and older, most likely it probably needs to be replaced, or the pool needs to be refinished.
Right.
And there's a lot of new technology out there that you can get, Pebble Sheen, Pebble Tech, or just, general marcite.
So if I'm talking about a regular size pool, say in the West Chase area, about how much would it be to refinish that pool?
To refinish a pool, just basic marcite, probably $7,000 to $10,000.
Okay, so that's a lot of money. Now, what if I chose something like a Pebble Tech that has a longer guarantee?
Pebble Tech, it's a little bit more, probably around 15.
So that, I mean, that's a fairly large investment to make. So if the house already has issues with the Marsite before I purchase it, then that is definitely something that I need to keep in mind and budget for accordingly if I'm going to have to resurface it.
Throughout the home buying process, clients will, request to have those repairs made. Usually the seller won't do it, but you're right, budgeting for it is key.
But you're saying a pool company and a pool service company will be able to give us a better rundown of what exactly is going on in the pool of the house that I'm thinking about buying.
Yes, your local pool supply store, if they aren't licensed to do pool inspections, a pool service contractor like myself will come out and do the inspection for you. They'll inspect the pool equipment, and make sure it's all working properly.
A lot of times in descriptions, we see the word salt chlorination system or salt filtration as this big upgrade. Explain to me what that is and whether it is actually an upgrade.
A lot of people think a salt system is an upgrade or is better. It does alleviate a lot of the cost, especially with going to the store once a week and buying bleach or chlorine. It helps with that. But the salt system really is doing the same exact thing, except it's taking the salt that you're putting into the pool and turning it into a sanitizing agent like chlorine.
Like chlorine, okay. But I know that people think that it's better for your skin and your eyes. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, so it's a little less harsh on your skin and your eyes. And I've had both, and I would say that I definitely consider salt systems to be an upgrade in a pool. Now, there's still a lot of pools that don't have salt systems. How much is it to replace a chlorine filtration system with a salt one if you want to do that after closing?
If you're thinking about converting to a salt system and the pool currently is just using bleach, anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500 installed out the door is usually what it's going to cost you to convert your pool into salt.
Well, that doesn't seem too bad as far as upgrades are concerned, especially if that's something that people are really looking for and it's better for your skin and your eyes, especially if you have little ones jumping in the pool all summer long.
Right, yeah.
So every once in a while I'll show a house and you go in the backyard and you're excited to see a nice pool and it's green. What does it mean when a pool is green and how does somebody fix that?
Well, an even better scenario is when you send a client a listing and there's no pictures of the pool at all. It usually means the pool's green.
The pool's green and not being properly maintained, yes.
Exactly,
yes.
yeah.
So how do we maintain that and keep it from being green?
Well, like we talked about earlier with the salt system, that will help alleviate keeping the pool from not turning green because you're not having to worry about putting the chlorine in it once a week. But generally it's just a chemical imbalance with the chlorine and the pH. There's a lot of other things that go into, with water testing and chemicals, but the two important ones are usually the chlorine and the pH. Phosphates, that can be another ailment, or the algae in the pool usually feeds off phosphates.
So if I see a pool that's a slightly green, I shouldn't necessarily be concerned that it can turn blue again, but I do want to make sure all the equipment is working and everything else before I close on that house, right?
Yeah, correct. If the pump is not working actively and not circulating the water like it should, the pool is going to turn green a lot faster.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Bottom line, Travis, if you're thinking about buying a house with a pool, what are your top 3 things to consider? Lifestyle
would be one. Make sure it's adequate and it's something that you and your family really enjoy or you're going to use.
Right.
It's something that is fitting for the entire family.
Absolutely, I agree. And what would be your number 2?
Pool inspection.
Pool inspection, yes. So we covered that. So go past the regular home inspection, and if you're concerned about anything, actually have a pool contractor come out and inspect the pool equipment prior to closing, correct?
Right. During your due diligence period, get a licensed pool inspector out there. I mean, not everyone needs a pool inspection. If the equipment looks a little bit old or like it needs some work, definitely it's a good idea to get your pool inspection.
Okay, and then number 3, what's the next thing to keep in mind?
Maintenance.
Maintenance.
Weekly maintenance is key to not only keeping the pool from turning green, but just having peace of mind. You want your weekly maintenance. If your pool's not screened, you're keeping the leaves out of there. You're taking care of the equipment.
Well, that's all amazing information, Travis. Thank you so much. I really hope that this helps anybody who's thinking about buying a house with a pool. It's an amazing investment if you use it and maintain it. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Melanie Loves Tampa Bay. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please click the like button below. If you want to make any comments, you can do that below as well. Consider subscribing to Melanie Loves Tampa Bay YouTube channel if you want more information on home trends, real estate in general, or life in the Tampa Bay area. You can find that all here, or follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or you can check me out on my website, MelanieLovesTampaBay.com. Again, thank you so much for joining us. With love, Melanie.